Then Madeleine Albright, the former Secretary of State under Hillary Clinton, comes out on CNN and NBC. I played the clips here. You can look them up. We've written articles about it. And says, yeah, he's dead. They're going to roll him out. So they backed off and later pulled him out. But the issue here that I'm getting at is that if you go to Infowars.com, we've republished the articles from last year with the latest info about how ridiculously fake it is. And how Obama at the correspondence banquet, in a TV ad they're running. What's the name of that stupid TV ad? We're about to play it again. One Chance. Sounds like prom night or something. One chance. It's more like spring break. The point is, I'm sorry. It's just this is such theater. There he is at the correspondence dinner with all these Hollywood people to make it look like government is Hollywood. Edward Bernays, the head of psychological warfare for the Department of War, pre-Department of Defense, came up with all that. He said, we'll put Hollywood people up there with government. We'll blur the lines. We'll make it like they're stars. This will make the public submit to government. Plus, they'll think the president actually runs everything, so we can put a new one in every 4 to 8 years and fool the public. By the way, the author of Tragedy and Hope, the head of Georgetown Political Science, Carol Quigley, Bill Clinton's mentor, also wrote that in Tragedy and Hope. Then Ron Paul comes along, doesn't play ball with that, and it screws up their whole fantasy land, so they've got to cheat him in the first few primaries until it looks like he's not a winner. Sad issue, though. Now it's admitted he won in Maine and Iowa, like I told you he did. He was the leader. He would have been the nominee. That shows the power of the liberty movement now. They had to steal it. Oh, yeah, this week it all got confirmed he really won. What is it, 4 states he really won they stole? And the Republican leadership says, we don't care if it's proof he won. You're not getting it. Anyways, continuing. Article up at Infowars.com. Obama exploits bin Laden hoax for election propaganda. Let's go over the lies. There was that first Situation Room photo they released that May Day, Sunday evening, a year ago. And it was clearly a staged photo. Looked like a movie poster. Hillary's covering her mouth. Obama's looking all serious. The general's looking down the computer. Everybody's, it's like football coaches or something. And they said we were watching him be killed by the SEALs live cams. They all tell the lie on TV. They watched him die. The people say release the footage. They go, oh, we didn't tape it, actually. Oh, and bin Laden wasn't in a firefight. He didn't use his wife as a shield. And then there was no dialysis machine, by the way, in the house he'd been in for years. Almost on death's door with the CIA visiting 2001. CBS News reported on it 2002. It's a fact. Al-Qaeda's used to attack Libya now, Syria. I have articles today where we're told Al-Qaeda's not a threat now. They're our friends. It's the American people are the new enemy. So the war on terror is over, but now the war is on you. But side issue. You get this giant theater that no one I know bought. You get the way it's released. You have the fake Situation Room photo. And then we say, well, show us the body. Oh, sorry, it got thrown in the ocean. Then a bunch of people speak out on the ship. They all get disciplined. Record number of people dishonorably discharged off that carrier. You have the stage photo we've got up at Infowars.com. Then they say, well, it's a Muslim way to be thrown in the sea. No, that's against Islamic law. Doesn't matter. It's meant to be a shoddy story. It's meant to be just absolutely rotten because they don't care. It's all a big joke to them. You know, we have a clip we'll play later of Obama laughing and saying, my dad was born in Kenya, but I was born in Hawaii, and he winks and everybody laughs. He's blocked all his high school, college records. It's on record he had 2 different names. That's now been confirmed. That was called a conspiracy theory, remember? They said 3 years ago they'd released the official form and said there is no other form. Then they released the new fake one that's been proven fake. And nobody's got a more covered up background. And then Breitbart is set to release video of him at meetings with the Weatherman bombers, who we later know paid for his house and tuition and stuff. And he's going to release it and he dies. And
Easy do-it-yourself installation.
And we're going to go to break. Okay, we are back live. Hadn't done that in a while where we just don't even go to break. Thank you for joining us. It is Sunday, the 29th day of April 2012, and we've got a whole nother hour after this segment coming up, and I'm going to open the phones at that point. In fact, here is the toll-free number on any of the issues I've raised or any topics you'd like to get into or questions or comments you have. The Sunday number is different than the weekday number. It's 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. And we're going to take first-time callers on this Sunday show. First-time callers, please. 877-789-ALEX. Please give others a chance to get involved. We have millions of listeners, and I want everybody to be able to chime in who haven't been able to get through. Now, listen. You've got Obama last year saying, let's not spike the football so he could have his cake and eat it too, but then spiking the football and producing a Hollywood movie with real Navy SEALs about the killing of bin Laden and releasing that. Just unbelievable propaganda. You've got fake Situation Room photos saying they watched live footage, a totally fake story they go back on and later admit isn't true. You've got the Navy SEAL helicopter that witnesses said had somebody piled on board with them. It blows up, killing those. Then the Navy SEALs start speaking out. A large portion of SEAL Team 6 is packed suspiciously on a National Guard helicopter. We're told they're flying out to save Army Rangers. Turned out that wasn't true. It blows up, killing all on board. I've talked to a Navy SEAL who has a friend in SEAL Team 6, and they say, yes, a bomb was on board. And they think it could have been, guess who? Some of them think, oh, it must have been Al-Qaeda, yeah, that got on the base and did it. Or they're smart enough to understand, no, traitors run the government. So dead men tell no tales. But think about it. We have a government caught lying to us over and over again. We have a so-called government caught stealing trillions of dollars. We have a government caught doing thousands of different lethal tests on our own troops. Project Shad, chemical, biological, radiological, atomic soldiers, Tuskegee experiments, all the new experiments coming out. A national security state based on eugenics, where they believe we're dumb animals and openly brag about how they created bisphenol A to sterilize us and how they're putting sterilants in the water. I've got articles on that today. Reuters, scientists call for rethink on consumption, population reduction. This is the religion of the people running things. They think of you as animals. And so we're just supposed to sit there when known liars tell us an official story. We're supposed to just sit there and go, well, you've lied to me hundreds of times that I've caught you before, and you've been caught doing all these terrible things, but I'm just going to believe you now because you say so. And then if you question known liars, you're called a supposed conspiracy theorist, which means someone who questions known liars. It'd be like if you went to the carnival and some carnival barker was saying, come on, get over here, you're going to win. And when you don't win, they make fun of you and say, come on, you can do it. You can get something for the little lady. If you say, well, you're being a carnival barker manipulating me, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, you're making a judgment about known liars. But they're saying don't have judgment, don't have discernment. You're walking down a dark alley at night to get to your car. You see somebody creep into the shadows. Looks like they've got a club in their hand or a wrench. Maybe you go back the other direction. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist for making a judgment on known liars. Now, again, they won't show us the body. They say they threw him in the ocean. They discipline a bunch of people on the ship at record numbers who are starting to say it was a bunch of baloney. A bunch of the Navy SEALs involved die in 2 separate incidents. It's all scripted. They change the story over and over again. And I've got high-level government sources, including, this was bizarre when I got contacted by a currently serving super high-level CIA person to just say, we want to tell you you're absolutely right about bin Laden and everything else. That was the message. And that was relayed to me. That person was relayed through to me by a national talk show host. National talk show host. This person would like to talk to you. They are who they say they are. They would like to, and then I get on the telephone and I'm told this message. But I've already had Pachenik on. He's the guy that co-wrote. He's got all these big Hollywood movies he wrote. He's the guy that was the expert on a bunch of Clancy's books. A famous black op assassination commander. A psychiatrist. He tells us it's all fake. Then Walter Cronkite comes up and backs it up, and then Madeleine Albright does. And that doesn't even get news coverage. But what about Fast and Furious? This is a criminal White House, so criminal. They're caught shipping guns into Mexico, drugs back into the U.S., and now we learn hand grenades. Yeah, it wasn't just some gun shops they told sell guns. That was the cover. Once it started to come out in federal cases where one arm didn't know what the other arm was doing. And they were bringing people into court who were declaring national security and had all these documents, and the feds were coming in and saying, yeah, drop this. They're a national security asset. Los Zetas, Sinaloa cartel, Mexican mafia, and then it turned out, this has all come out in the court cases. It's been in the Chicago Tribune, El Paso Times. It's never on the nightly news. It's always ATF, let guns be sold from gun shops to track them. No, it was rocket launchers. It was RPGs. It was grenades from military bases. It was Navy SEALs and Army troops. Now been busted doing it. They're now burning their own minions. It's in the news, back of the paper. Shipping weapons into Mexico to try to knock out drug cartels that weren't laundering their money through the big 6 Federal Reserve banks who've been caught laundering the money and don't get in trouble, i.e. Wells Fargo, you know who that is, Warren Buffett. They're part of it in a 2-year span that came out 2 years ago. This is 4 years ago it started. $376 billion, Bloomberg AP, narcotics trafficked. They even leased and ran the aircraft through Wachovia and Wells Fargo. Oh, yeah, the aircraft, everything. Everything. Oh, he's a nice old man with an ice cream cone, though. Every time you see Warren Buffett, he's like, I got a vanilla ice cream. I'm non-threatening. Ha-ha, gimmick. I'm a nice old man. Raise my taxes because I get it in bailout money. Ha, ha, ha. You idiots, there's nothing you won't buy. Oh, but the chickens are coming home to roost. Republicans prepare contempt citation against Eric Holder over Fast and Furious. Yeah, hand grenades, rocket launchers, all of it. Hand grenades, rocket launchers, drugs. It came out in the federal courts. You can look it up. The FBI, 8 federal agencies were involved, not just ATF, were shipping guns to Mexican mafia and others in Chicago, in Indianapolis, in Dallas, just all up the middle of the country, bringing the goods into you and your family. Just like the troops openly grow the opium. And when the troops started speaking out, they go, what do? We hide it in plain view. Just put it on the news. And suddenly, all over the news 3 years ago, yes, the troops grow the opium, load it on aircraft, but you're going to jail when you run it up your veins. And they keep it illegal to keep the price up, so they rob your house or your jewelry, maybe kill your wife while they're at it to get the smack, which would be a couple dollars, and they'd be seen as social outcasts and not cool, but instead it's a lot more because the banks have got to get the little higher price, got to keep it illegal, got to give the cops a reason to kick down your door. Republicans prepare contempt citation against Eric Holder over Fast and Furious. House Republicans investigating the Fast and Furious scandal plan to pursue a contempt citation. As Attorney General Eric Holder, senior congressional aides told CBS News. And then, if you go to Infowars.com, we have the 10 facts from almost a year ago. Even more has come out now, proving it's a hoax, but we've reposted that. Number 1, before last Sunday's raid, this is a year ago, intelligence analyst, every intelligence analyst, geopolitical commentator, and head of state worth their salt was on record saying he was dead. And it goes through all those heads of state saying he was dead. Number 2, the official narrative of how the raid unfolded completely collapsed within days of the announcement. It goes through how they changed the 40-minute shootout, the fake photo, they weren't watching live video feeds. Number 3, the alleged body of bin Laden was hastily dumped in the sea. Number 4, it goes through all the evidence. We're going to stop right there. You know what? It's all in Infowars.com. And later, I'm going to air the ad that Osama is running, the heroic killer of